Internet, this is Benedek here. Very welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I would like to show you how you can easily create a good looking main menu for your application. So if you are interested, then just follow along. Okay, so open up Unity Hub and create a new project. Create a new 3D game, or actually it can be 2D as well. Let's say simple sample project or whatever, basically. Okay, I will just create it. Okay guys, here we go. Unity has just created our new project from the template and it is just currently empty. Okay, so what we would like to do is go for new scene, and it's just untitled, so I will hit Ctrl+S, go to the scenes folder, and I will say something like main menu.unity. That will be alright. And what I would like to do is just create a new panel. So right click UI, and here we could create a canvas, then a panel, but for canvas is needed for any UI elements which are like these. So if I go for panel, then it will auto generate a canvas for me, so that's cool. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, a canvas is just a 2D component, which is a container. So 2D UI elements are just contained there. So let's just think that it's just a paper sheet like container. Okay. Now, actually, this panel has an interesting color. So let's just assign a normal color to this. Let's say something like this. And now the alpha is very low. So if you pull it up to the maximum, then it won't be transparent anymore. Okay. Now what I would like to do is I would like to create a good looking main menu for this. Okay, so here we go. We have a panel. We can right click on it and create a UI button, just like that. Okay, here is a button. It's relatively too small, I guess. So what we should do is just increase its size by 230. Oh, it's a little bit too big. Let's say something like 265 by 85. Okay, that's great. And let's just rename this button to something like start button or play button. Let's say play button. So this button will be the one which is for us to actually start playing the game. Okay, now you could basically just go in here, click UI and create another button, but because we would like to have some more, but for the sake of simplicity, you just select this button from the hierarchy, and you should use Ctrl+D to duplicate it and duplicate it again and probably again. Okay, because I would like to call it the second one something like settings button. So it will open up a settings menu, and here we should use this one as a about button, so you can show your credits or an about page from the company or a message or anything like that. So, and of course, the most important thing, an exit button. If our player is just bored from our game, then he can just leave. Okay, so everything is, as you can see, assigned to the middle or anchored to the middle center. Now I don't wanna bother with this. That's great for us, and we know that it's actually height. Its actual height is 85. Now let's change them to for all of them. I just selected one. And I hit and hold shift and I select multiple and I go for something like 80, and I would like to have like 20 as a more margin between those, so it should be positive 100 and I will leave it there, and let's negative 100 and negative 200. So these are aligned perfectly, and I would like to open them up because all of them has a text component which is really small, actually a little bit tiny. Oh, okay, now 44 would be okay. As you can see, it's a little bit weird. That's because we are looking it from the opposite direction. So what I am doing is just using my mouse wheel, and I zoomed in, and I'm just dragging with my right mouse button clicked, and here we go. Now we have just changed our directions, and here it's also good. Okay, and I think it's just a little bit sad and boring, this font. Of course, it's great if you like it, but for now, I would like to create a new folder for fonts. Make sure to put it in with a capital one, just because I love it. So, and I should import these two little guys to this one. So I just drag and drop them actually to here. Okay. And probably I will use the satisfy one or the other one. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Oh, it looks great, I guess. So I should just, I'm now selecting this, holding down Control and selecting multiple one. And I would like to set them to 44 as well. And also I would like to change it to satisfy. Okay, now I've done that. Now I should alter the text. So let's say something like play and something like settings for the settings button, of course, and about, and let's say something like quit or exit. Okay, now we are just ready. Of course, you could use, yeah, you could use more sophisticated button templates than using these little guys here, but for now, probably these will be acceptable for us. Mm, but probably in the upcoming video I will show you something more sophisticated way, but it's good for now. Um, what we would like to do is whenever one of them is clicked, then something would happen. So I go to the assets folder and I create a new C# script called button options, I would say options, yes, okay. And I will open it up in Visual Studios, and I will write some very simple C# script, some very simple methods. Okay, here we go. Our mono behavior is just generated. So get rid of the unnecessary things. I won't need either update or start, so I can delete them, and I don't need system collections and system generic as well. Okay, so what I would like to do is something like public void, let's say start game. So we should use something called scene manager in order to start our game. So it's best practice to have a main menu in one single scene, and we should have other scenes containing our levels, our game. So whenever you would like to start the game from your main menu, you have to actually load another scene. Now in Unity, to load another scene, you have to use something called Scene Manager. And Scene Manager is not included in the Unity engine package, but it's included in the Unity engine that scene manager, management. Yes, okay. So you have to use this in order to use the scene manager. So scene manager load scene method, and we will pass in this scene's name. And as you remember, we had one scene open when we created this main menu. This is called sample scene, but let's just rename it by hitting F2 on our keyboard, and let's say something like game. Okay, just for the sake of simplicity. So I will just say game, the name of the scene which I would like to load. Okay, now let's create another method called when the exit button is pressed, so something like quit game. And this quit game method will be just doing very easy stuff, so it will just go and application.quit, so it will just, so that's the way you quit the application. Okay, here we go. Now as our Okay, now it's just compiled without any errors. So here, remember that whenever I have to, I have to select a button, and if I would like to assign an event to this, I have to go to the unclick event. I have to hit that little plus sign, and here I have to specify an object which has my script attached to. So right click, create an empty. So I just want to create an empty game object, and it's just a logical object that contains actually nothing. And I would like to call it like button option object or whatever you would like to. And oh yes, I would like to create another folder called scripts. That's just not mandatory, but I love to organize things. So I would like to drag and drop it to there. So my scripts are under the scripts folder. Okay. So I would like to just select it and drag and drop it there. So now I have an object, a game object showed in the hierarchy, which has my button options script, the script I've just wrote, attached to it as a component. So if I go for play button and I go there, I can just drag and drop this here. Now I can go for button options, and I would like to start the game. Yes, I would like to start the game. Okay, and if I go for this exit one, I have to hit the plus sign. So here in the unclick, I say what will happen when one will click on this object. So I just drag and drop these button options here, and I go for button, and I will find a quit game. Cool. Now, when these two guys are just clicked, then we would like to do something else. So instead of having a separate scene for settings menu and about page, it's better to have logic even in this current scene, so we can use actually panels for this. So I could just go for UI and create other panel, but instead, because I have one already, I can just go and hit Ctrl plus D to duplicate it, and let's duplicate it again. So if I hit F2, I can just rename it to like settings panel, and I can rename it to about panel. Yes, so I just rename it to about panel. Cool. Now here we would like to do something. Okay, just to distinguish these panels, I would just delete everything instead of one button, which will be not an exit button, of course, but it will be a back button. So I will let the user go back to the main menu, of course, and I will also rename it here as well. And here also I would like to modify the text one for these two one to back. Okay, and as you can see, now we see these guys, not the original one. And probably I would like to create a new UI element, a text one, for these guys, and I would like to duplicate it and assign it to the about panel. And I would like to say something like settings panel for the settings panel, just to distinguish these little guys, and about panel here as well. Now probably I would like to have it like that big, and align to the center both horizontally and both vertically. And I would like to have it bold or bold and italic, wherever. And yes, I would like to have it white, okay, or let's say yellow, because I love this color. Okay. So and of course we have to resize it. So let's try 900 by or 400, sorry, by 300. Okay, that's actually good. Of course, it's a little bit too big, I guess. Okay, so let's just use 66. Okay, and here I can say something like 80. Cool. And I can use the move tool, this one from here, and I can just move it upwards a little bit. And or of course I could just hit that one and align it to the center as well. And I would like to now just duplicate this game object, and instead of going to the, or no, sorry, not that one. Okay, which one is I'm editing? Okay, I will disable this. Okay, so I see. Now I would like to duplicate this one and bring to this guy, or not there, because I don't want to do the same formatting for the settings panel as well. So if I've done this for the about page, I just go and copy basically or duplicate it there. And now I would like to rename it on there to settings panel. Okay. No, I hope everything is clear, guys. If no, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to explain everything. Here I can untick this whole game object, and then it will set active false. I'm saying it like that because there is a method in Unity which sets its false or true, whether it's active or not. And if I set active it true, so I tick it and I enable this. Whenever I set it to be active, then I can see it. And whenever I untick it, I set active false. I call the method set active and I pass the argument false in it, then it will be just invisible. Okay, and only this guy will be active. Okay, so why I said these set active things is that because if you go there to the settings button and you hit that little sign and just go to, so you can just bring there any objects, not just the ones which has script attached to them. So it doesn't have any script attached to it, but I can go to this and I can drag the settings panel, and when the settings button is clicked, what I want to do is go for game object, and I would like to set active. I would like to use the game object that set active method of Unity, and it's a boolean, so it requires us whether we would like to set it active or false. So we would like to set it not active. So if I hit it, it will set it active. Okay, but now I would like to make sure that it's not interlapping with my current panel, which is this guy. So I bring this there, and I can say something like game object set active, and I would like to set it active false. Okay, and the same is true for the about. So whenever the about button is clicked, what I would like to do, I would like to bring in here the about panel, and I would like to go for game object set active, and I would like to set it active true. And when this happens, I would like to make sure that it doesn't interlap with my previous panel. So I bring the previous panel to here, and I will go for game object set active false. And now if I hit save and if I hit Ctrl plus P on my keyboard, then I can just test it out whether it works or not. Okay, so if I go for play, then okay, I see what's the problem. So it tried to start the game scene, but it's not added in the build settings, of course. So guys, if you use a new scene, you just go to File, Build Settings, and make sure that you put it in there. So go for scenes, and I would like to bring in there the main menu and the game scene as well. And now if I hit this little play sign or hit the Ctrl plus P on my keyboard and I hit that one, you can see that we are at the game scene. So it's actually working. Cool. And if I hit play again and I go for settings, as you can see, the settings panel is now active. And as you can see, it's inactive, the current panel, and the settings panel is now active. But when I hit the back button, of course, nothing happens because we haven't assigned it. So go for the, okay, I've just stopped the game. Go for the settings panel to the back button. And instead of this quit game, we would like to say something like settings panel, so this current panel, and it should be game object set active false. So we would like to disable it, and we would like to enable the panel, so the original panel. And okay, so set active true. And and the same is for this one. And I would like to just get rid of this previous call. So hit the minus sign, hit the plus sign, and I would like to set it I would like to about page game object set active false, and I would like to set the original panel active. Okay, so that's how easy it is. And now if I hit save and Ctrl plus P, now everything should work properly. So yes, whenever I start the settings panel, then we are in there, and when I hit the back sign, as you can see, we are back. And the same is true for the about panel. And of course this would work, but now in the editor it doesn't simulate quitting the game. Okay, and of course you can play it as well. Okay guys, that was a lot of information for today. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give me a thumbs up, share with friends, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are. Now be safe out there. Bye.